They'll be here.
I think it's time, guys. I'd like to call the meeting to order with a roll call, please.
Berger.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Stefan.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Thomas.
Here. We'd like to welcome all the visitors, and this is our time for a public hearing. Anyone would like to address the board during this time? Pretty quiet. We'll move on to item 3, approval of the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have approved. Approved minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Old business, approval of the weighted vote for Director of District Number 2 for the AEA Board of Directors. I think we got her rather stellar.
Yeah, this was a table item from the last meeting, so that's why it's old business here. I apologize, the first one you received was the wrong person. Admittedly, when I got the email from Nathan, I thought, oh, I'll get that out to everybody right away. And then Lisa said, hey, you realize that's not the same name as is on our ballot. So we asked Nathan for additional information. I think he's had a pretty busy week, so I texted him today, said, hey, I don't have that yet, can I get that? And he sent this to us.
I so move we approve Shelley Morgan as director.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
She is voted. You opposed? Okay. We are ready to adjourn to the regular meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. That brings us to the next agenda.
I think we can release our,
Yes.
See you, gentlemen.
yes, thank you for serving the board.
Thank you, guys.
Feel free to stick around.
You always come as a visitor.
Fair enough.
We have ordered some.
Yeah, I
We
think
haven't
so.
done yet, so where do you
I'll
guys
let you know if I'm wrong.
Sit.
And I think we get to welcome our new
Yes.
folks out there.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for running.
Good luck.
Your name is?
Amanda White.
Thank you for running.
Yep.
And our
Thank you for
board
everything you do.
members, we do have medal placards on the way for you, but for now, we have paper ones for you wherever you
Thank
need
you.
to sit.
Take care.
And we can always do a big shake up on seating on the next meeting too, so sit where you like.
It's cold over there.
It is cold there,
On this
yes.
side,
Yeah.
you sit over there and you be here.
And Lisa
I
has
wouldn't want to do
a,
that.
Lisa has a
Like I said, I can
special
sweat in
piece
the
of
freezer.
carpet we can always put down over that at meetings if it's easy for anybody.
And Marcia, there's a little hook on the bottom of that whiteboard for your purse, right behind you.
Oh,
Put that
nice.
for me, I know.
Okay, there.
You know, bring my man bag.
Okay, what you gotta do?
So, I must say that someone challenged me with 4 women on the board. I said I grew up with 5 sisters, this is gonna be easy. So,
He was the oldest.
What is
so-
your point?
yeah, I think the board secretary has the meeting.
I'm gonna call the board meeting, the organizational and regular meeting to order with a roll call. Carter.
Here.
Catherine.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Oden. Here. Thomas.
Here.
Whistler.
Yeah, here.
White. Here. Okay, so, minutes of the oath of office to the elected members, if you guys wanna stand up and raise your hand. Mike, you as well, did you win for last?
I got it.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the office of board members for the Centerville Community School District as now and hereafter required by law?
I will.
So the next item is the election of president and vice president, so I will take any nominations for president.
I nominate Mike Thomas for president.
I would second that.
Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know everybody's voice yet. Are there any other nominations? Okay. So hearing none, all those in favor of Mike Thomas as board president, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, so Mike, you can take back the meeting.
Okay, the next is, we will be taking nominations for vice president.
Nominate Derek Carter.
Second.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second. Do we have any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor of Derek Carter for vice president signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. You're in. Administer the oath to the
Thank you for your confidence.
president and vice president.
So we gotta do this.
There we go.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the office of board president and vice president for the Centerville Community School District as now and hereafter required by law?
I will.
I will.
At this point, we are ready to welcome visitors. As public forum, anyone like to address the board as public forum? Seeing none, next item is approval of the agenda.
Motion approved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion, the agenda has been approved. At this point, we are ready to move to closed session. And I think there's something we read for that, isn't there?
Do we want to, can we make a motion to move our student rep out of this?
Good. As part of the agenda. That'd be probably fair
Okay,
for Oregon to be here.
I think it's probably too late now that we've approved.
Now that we've approved the agenda.
we've already approved the agenda, but
I can give her a comfortable place to sit in the meantime. I'll make sure that you have a good place to be.
okay. So, at this,
I think with the board's agreement, we could probably go back to the approval of the agenda item if there was something that you wanted to address.
you wanna make
An
a
amendment
motion,
to that
I'll
approval.
entertain that.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to
Amend the approval.
amend the approval to move item A, student representative under new business, ahead of our first closed session. And then everything else would stay as listed. It's kind of
Okay, we have a motion to move item A.
I'll make the motion to move item A.
Okay, so we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of moving item A to, up to item, ahead of item 7? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are moving. Student representative, you're up.
Thank you all.
And I'm back.
Hi, we missed you.
Where you been?
Oh, so like for student council this year, we're doing some added groups like our representative this year. And she's having students like come in each month, so I'm covering for Marina today.
Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on being here last night, but here I am.
Well, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay, so for Operation Stand Up fundraiser this year, we are hosting a dodgeball tournament this Friday, November 21st. And we'll have a free will soup dinner afterwards. And then on that same Friday, after the soup dinner, we're hosting a walk-in for our student council. Like, all the students will stay inside the high school from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. I don't know all the details on it, but we'll be like working on upcoming events and decorating the school and playing like Christmas themed games, so I hope it's fun. We'll see. And then basketball season starting up, and that's about all I have right now. That's
Any
all I have.
questions? Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, we are ready for item 7, closed session. I think we have to ask, we need a motion to go to closed session.
Yeah. And it needs to be as it's written in your agenda.
So just read it off like. You could read off.
Okay, I make a motion to review or discuss records which are required or authorized by state or federal law. Keep it confidential pursuant to Iowa Code section 21.5, C 116.
Okay,
Second.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Carter,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Oden,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Whistler,
Yes.
White. Yes.
Okay.
Anyone?
Now. You're good.
I got you, sorry.
Everybody else leave.
Motion to approve action item A on, action on late file open enrollment application.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the open enrollment request. Roll call vote.
Carter,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Moore,
No.
Oden,
Yes.
Thomas,
No.
Whistler,
No.
White.
Yes.
Good luck. 4-3, right?
That's right.
We hope you come back.
Very good.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The best
See you guys.
for your kids.
Thank you.
What's that?
How do we do this?
Well, yeah. We'll take a short recess before our next group. How's that?
Recess is what did us in today for time, it's a not trial thing. Those judges working on a lot of recesses. These kids have played plenty. Let's get them in there and do some mock trial.
I thought it was gonna be like approving sidewalk.
That's coming. That's coming.
You know,
Update a bathroom or, you know.
These are the parts that.
You know, these are the hard ones.
Yeah.
There's never a
This was
clean
that
cut
they are,
answer.
We are, yep, and we're in, even on recess. Because we're all gathered. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I guess just like I was a taskmaster at Montreal, I'm a taskmaster at Rapid too. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of the no fun police sometimes.
She didn't go home to get that, did she?
The water isn't very cold here, that could be. No ice available, you know.
Don't you have an ice maker there?
No, I thought about getting one for them. Yeah, thought I might make my team happy with me.
Refrigerator with ice in it or water?
That's pretty fancy.
We
You
know
know, get
it.
a little table. I'm a cheapskate. I have my superintendent report. When the time comes.
She's back.
Were you waiting on me?
Yes. We thought maybe you went home to get it.
I thought we were taking a break.
We did, and now it's
You were
over.
it.
I'm not going to read the paper.
Jeez. bring those folks back?
Yeah, we just have to go on
Yeah,
that
get
closed
back.
session.
We have,
Yep.
yeah. So we need a motion to go into closed session.
Well, we're coming back from recess first, right?
Right, we're back from recess. And would someone like to make a motion to go into closed session?
Motion to go into closed session to review or discuss records which are required or authorized by state or federal law, being confidential pursuant to Iowa Code section 21.5, subsection 1, subsection 8.
Roll call vote.
In a second.
Second.
Carter,
Yes.
Heffernan,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Oden,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Whistler,
Yes.
White.
Yes.
We might wanna get our people.
I can send them in. Thank you.
No, we went out, and we're back. Last time we were, we used to recess.
Okay. So, we're back in regular session.
Motion to approve item 8, section A, consideration and action on Lakefield open enrollment application.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? We will call for a roll call vote.
Carter,
Yes.
Heffernan,
Yes.
Moore.
No.
Oden,
Yes.
Thomas,
No.
Whistler,
No.
White.
Yes.
You want it?
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
We are down to approval of the board meeting dates and times. It was in your packet. Always a little wiggle room once in a while, but that, pretty much follow that.
Could I have a copy? I mean, I cannot get my computer to print
To be-
my email. Can I please have a hard copy of that
Yeah,
whenever?
Yeah.
Okay,
Take
thank you.
50 cents.
Motion to approve.
Oh,
Second.
or here's.
We have a motion and a second to approve the board meeting dates and
Oh, okay,
times.
okay.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. We have them approved. Appointment and approval of board members to groups or committees.
Who isn't excited to join some more committees? This is your chance right here. We have a few fun ones for you, I promise.
Keep me on the negotiations and throw me wherever else.
So we probably need one more person on negotiations than we have with both Kevin and Tim exiting.
What, you don't need to be one right here? Well,
Generally two is the
generally-
preferred
generally
number.
residents in here.
Yeah.
I would do that.
That's when Mike Thomas added to negotiations.
He was on there last year.
Yeah, that is weird that it wasn't on there.
It was me, Mike, and Tim.
I would like to be on the Centerville Foundation Board of Directors.
We could use to add another member to the foundation group. They typically prefer for us to have 2 members on the foundation. Is there anybody who would be interested? Here's the beauty of it. It is a very infrequent meeting schedule. It's about, I think it's
I'll take
quarterly.
that.
We'll take one.
So, okay, I'm sorry. So Mike, Thomas, and Whistler on the foundation,
That's correct.
right?
Yep.
And then what was negotiations? Mike Thomas?
And Derek Carter.
Okay.
We want a third.
We can, I can't remember why we did 3 before. I feel like my first couple of years we did 2, but I could be wrong. We could add a third. We just can't do 4.
Right. We'll take.
Anybody?
I'd be happy to just be on that.
Okay.
We do need a new person for county conference board. Let me tell you how wonderful this is. I think it's met once in the 4 years that I've been in district, is that right? And I think it was a very short, hey, we have a county conference board. So if somebody's looking for an easy one to be on,
What is that? What is that?
that's a great question. I don't even know that I can totally tell you. I believe,
I'm volunteering to fight
I believe that it's something with the county supervisors, but then also I think they put, I wanna say there's somebody from the city on it, us, and there might be an Indian Hills person on that committee too, I think.
Yes. clean the hog barns.
So I'm not doing that.
I don't think it's that.
No, I don't think that's.
I'll be on that.
Thank you.
As Carol's got that one, all right.
Pretty easy one.
I think the school improvement committee was pretty easy too,
Yeah, not
I'll stay
bad.
on that one, if nobody, I mean,
all right?
but we need somebody. to
And we can
replace
have, we can have a third on that one if we'd like, and that one would be people that will invite to SiAC meetings and look for some thoughts on that, if there's anybody interested in that. I'm trying to, I feel like every time I look at a person, they're like, are you telling me you want me to do this? You do what you wanna do, I'm not trying to
Unless
pressure
there's
anybody.
like a meeting that would be during the workday.
No, it'll be in the, we'll do it in the
No,
evening.
usually there.
Yeah,
Evenings.
yeah,
So I feel like it's nice.
one or two a year usually, depending on how much we have, to do.
And I've got someone that wants on that, I'd be happy to do that.
And
I
I
think
don't
that
need,
sounds like a ringing endorsement to me.
Okay.
and I don't need to be on it if there's somebody, did you get something? You're good?
Guys are doing great.
Okay, all right.
You're okay, you're good, don't worry. Well, each year we'll have a chance to talk through this,
Okay.
so,
Good reflection.
thank you.
That's
for-
pretty slick.
I like her style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, does that take care of all of those then?
Mike, will you keep an ADLM?
ADLM, yeah, I don't even know what that is.
hasn't met too much.
No,
That
no,
happened
you
this
know,
day, this week, this month.
but there's a lot of things I don't get invited to, so I'll take the ADLM.
We can follow up to make sure we're getting the invitation.
Yeah.
Leave it at for you too.
Okay,
So do we have to approve that though?
Yes.
That's like-
so, anyone like to make a motion to approve those appointments?
So moved.
Okay. Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. You're in. Approve the board attorney and chief negotiator. I think that was in your packet.
And so this is retaining Danielle Hainfield with Allers, who has been our attorney for a number of years. Aaron Hilgus retained as our chief negotiator, who seems to have had a pretty good relationship with our association and his meetings. And Nicole Cox is a local attorney for local items.
Motion to approve.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Approved. We are down to. Okay, guys, last page is gonna go fast. Hang on. Approve the snow removal bid. We only have one.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approval of classroom clinic software license agreement.
Okay, I apologize, I'm gonna slow you down just a slight bit on this last page on this one. This is a program that, actually our administrative team had found at the School Administrators of Iowa Conference. And it provides, telehealth counseling. We don't have a lot of counseling resources in our community for students, particularly with major behavioral or mental health needs. And this is a tool that's being used by a number of schools in the state right now. We actually are getting on using grant funding. They have some grant funding from the state that can cover half a block of a mental health professionals. I can't remember, I think it's like 12 times that we'll get for our students with this, free of charge to the district, based on some of our demographic needs here in the area. So something that we're pretty excited to add. I think if we could add 3 or 4 full-time therapists, we'd probably be money ahead. But this gives us something to get a little bit closer.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the classroom clinic software license agreement. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign.
Thank you.
Aye. Item G, approval of the K-12 LAU, English for Second Language. Jordan?
This is just an annual report that we ask you to approve, and there's not a lot of changes. We currently are sharing a teacher of our ELL plan through the AEA with some of our AEA dollars, because our ELL teacher had left at the end of last year. It's going really well, and so we just had to make a few of those changes in that plan, but that is the biggest change, is just how we're getting the services.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Item H, approval of the building handbook addendum.
Yeah, so this is actually kind of a returning item for those who've been on board for a few years. I can't remember what year we had looked at this matrix the first time. This is something actually that I had used over in Burlington in my buildings, and we brought in a few years ago to talk with administratively, brought it back out in light of some student behavioral needs in district recently, and we are asking to add this as an addendum for the remainder of the year to handbooks that we pass out whenever a new student would join us. And in a way, also making that kind of re-upped as the law of the land. So what this matrix does is it takes certain student behaviors that we may run into over the course of a day or a week, and gives some example consequences and restitutions, and helps us to know the correct staff that should be responsible. And my hope is that in making that a little bit tighter and a little bit more unified, that we all have each other's backup on some of those needs as we go. It's a non-exhaustive list because I think, how do they say, if you make a plan foolproof, they'll make a better fool, or something like that. So I will tell you, there's probably behaviors on there that a kid could think up that aren't on this list, and there will be some need for some professional judgment in those cases. But this gives at least an outline, at least some idea of, for this style of behavior, this is kind of what we can expect to see occurring, and something that we can share with parents when we're issuing discipline regarding behavior.
So is this in place currently?
It's something that we worked on a few years ago. We needed to kind of re-up this with our team. That's why we brought it out at our one of our recent, I don't think it was the last one, maybe the one before, administrative team meeting, just to readdress this and make sure that we're all training our eye on the same plan here.
Okay, so, gosh, I have a lot of questions. So
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just looking through here, answering some of them. So there are different responsible staff.
Right, yeah.
So is this documented then, or how does this
So
is
our-
in place, you know, let's say it comes to me, let's say I'm the principal and it
Yep.
comes to me. Do I have to enter this information into something? or
So each of our buildings has a behavior referral process, and I think along with this, there really needs to be continued work on solidifying that process. Moving to Infinite Campus from Power School has sort of changed what that looks like, entering it into our student information system. But trying to make it where certainly behaviors you see at an elementary school are different than behaviors you see at a high school, right? So you may see at an elementary school, a student will, in the fight or flight responses, fight, flight, or freeze, right, may tend more towards freeze or fight, because flight is very challenging, whereas at a high school, you may see somebody who's particularly explosive walking out of the building. So there still is some, within this, recognizing the age of the students, which the state law that calls for progressive discipline, and actually this is a desk audit item for this year too, so this will be something that we can apply to desk audit in December, I think that's due, right? Yeah. You know, it's still, it talks about age appropriate discipline. You have kindergartner who, you know, maybe pushes somebody or something, might have a little different discipline than a 12th grader who does the same thing.
I'm just wondering, like, some of these I see, you know, repeat offense.
Yes.
I'm just like, who's keeping track of this?
Right, yeah, well, I think that comes through the referral process, right? And if a teacher is saying, so like, for example, generally, we're saying classroom teacher at level 1, right? So like I called Bobby mean names a number of times in the classroom. I can make a note on my referral that, you know, this has been a couple periods in a row, or, you know, reading and math class, and give that to the principal. You know, as you see, there's a variety of consequences, interventions, and restitutions that can be used. And I would think if it were something, you know, smaller, that would probably call for a smaller discipline. Spreading rumors is a great example of where if it's a first grader spreading a rumor, that's totally different than an eighth grader spreading a rumor. And I think while spreading rumors is in level 1 on this, it really becomes harassment, which is an escalated level when you think that it's having an impact on that student, when it's gaining traction. So there are a lot of things that what you call it probably makes an impact on what you do with it too.
I think this has the ability to be very, very misleading to parents.
Sure.
And that's why I'm asking.
For example,
Sorry.
level 4,
Mhm.
endangering self and others with unsafe actions.
Mhm.
Well, that consequence would be an out-of-school suspension,
Right,
but it's not always.
that's fair.
You see
And
what-
that's why it's an example consequence, because I think that in everything, you have to recognize there's professional judgment that has to be used. However, the state is calling for all schools to have listed a progressive discipline plan.
So,
And
yeah,
this is a similar outline to what a lot of districts will
You
use.
use the asterisks unless you have.
Yeah,
IEP or 504.
You could do it with asterisks, and you're right, IEPs and 504s definitely impact things differently in the law. Unfortunately, you got to do a little digging on that this weekend, as you shared, and for example, if you have a student with an IEP, you cannot suspend beyond 10 days without a manifestation determination meeting. That is a right that's inherent in an IEP. And so once you would reach that 10th day, you have to hold that manifestation determination, and if it is determined to be a manifestation of, for example, a behavior, oppositional defiance maybe, that leads to a person getting a behavior IEP, you're precluded from using out-of-school suspension at that point. However, that will trigger, and this is when we start talking about IEP process and what we do to help students with behavior needs, that should also trigger and will also trigger conversations about whether and you said this at some point to me, the least restrictive environment is actually appropriate for that child. So it's really important as we look at that, when we realize that we have a student with a behavior need and a behavior disability like oppositional defiance, that we're looking at, is the least restrictive environment truly 100% gen ed instruction? And often the answer to that is no. And I'm not gonna say that for every kid that's the case. There may be a kid with that it is perfectly acceptable, but often it's probably gonna be somewhere between 100 and 0%, depending on where the IEP team finds that to be. Does that make sense to what you're saying, or?
Yeah, I understand it, but that pissed off parent has something going on with their kids in school.
But these are just
Guidelines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
No,
not,
I
it's
think-
not
no, I
simple
know.
stuff.
Yeah, there's not a straight line through here.
Unfortunately,
and
that's the, sorry.
No, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, that is just kind of the way that life works. I'm sure the same is true sometimes even in police work, that there's not always a straight
Oh,
line,
yeah, no, it's
um,
guideline.
unfortunately.
And I'm asking questions, I mean, I get it, I'm an educator, but, I know there's parents watching
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm clarifying for them
Thank you. Yeah.
more than myself.
But I think,
So thank you for explaining.
yeah, and the reason that our matrix has separate areas for consequence and intervention/restitution is highly important. Consequence is what we're going to do to you in order to make sure that everyone else is taken care of. Intervention and restitution is what we're going to do for you to help you avoid reoffending. Because our ultimate goal is to make sure that all students are successful. And while we have to do something to you for what you've done to disrupt the learning of your peers, to disrupt the classroom, to change the decorum of our school, we also need to recognize that we have a responsibility to educate you, and that we have to figure out what we're gonna do on the back end. And I will tell you, that work is messy. The restitution and intervention work is very messy, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of work between, we do have really good AEA staff that come in and support us. Sometimes it's easy for people at school, they call us LEAs, the local schools. It's easy for the local school to dunk on the AEA folks and think that they're an issue, but we really do have some caring individuals that come in and spend a lot of time working with our team. Julie spends a lot of time with our principals working on individual student needs. I'll tell you, I'll go out and spend time with our principals as well. We will collaborate as a team around things that have worked with students in the past. And we're continuing to find ways to train our counselors and our student advisors and our R&Rs. Teach to Heal was a new tool we were bringing in for some of those, I don't want to say extra people, those very important people that aren't necessarily in the classroom all the time, in order to give them a set of skills to help support those kids. And I think that's developing pretty well, but it still has a ways to go. We're still in year one. Famously, I think they told our whole state, what did they say, was it 5 years they told us?
3 to 5.
3 to 5 years they told us it takes to really get it. Now, that being said, I think we've got 2 wonderful people in those R&R positions that we approved, I think that was this summer, that we approved the R&R positions, who have really taken the training to heart and have good tools for that. And we'll continue to look to add to that mix. I think we've got plans to train some additional people this summer in those interventions, kind of widen our net a little further. Our principals each got that training too this, and Julie and I as well this summer. That was a long-winded answer to a short question. Did I get the right points though?
My question would be why a violence to staff is at a level 3 and not a level 4.
Okay, yeah, let's take a look at that. So, that's a, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a fair question. We could certainly make a motion to approve that as, level 4 instead. I think to amend that, I think that'd be perfectly fine. I'm glad you caught that, because that one doesn't resonate right for me there either. I would agree. I wonder if it's because of the verbal threats of violence being there. I think maybe that kind of, yeah. But I agree, that's saying violence, yeah.
Right.
No, I would agree with that. I think that probably belongs in level 4. And I think it's, again, as we talk about overlapping items, right? It's probably the same as endangering self and others with unsafe actions.
Right.
So then if you look at level 5, where it
Yep.
says the first bullet point, physical violence causing serious bodily injury, does that imply only to students, or since it doesn't say, could it be anybody?
No, and that's actually a legally based term, because that allows us to do something different sometimes with students with IEPs based on behavior. So the reason that exact language is there at level 5 is that there are certain standards in the law, case law, that has supported the ability with certain major injuries that impact a life activity for an individual to use what's called an interim alternative educational setting, an IAES, that allows you to put a student in a 45-day period away from peers and staff. So that language is actually specifically there for the purpose of giving us that tool, should we need it ever.
But it could be towards the student or staff?
Yeah, it could be anybody,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I wondered, okay.
Sorry, I didn't answer that.
No, we got it.
So we're gonna move the
The violence, yeah,
level 3 down to level, that item down to level 4.
yeah, yep,
Good
that's what
point.
I've got on there.
Good catch.
And I can't believe I missed that, I appreciate it.
Anything else? Any other ideas, suggestions, changes?
As we continue to work on interventions that we're trying to learn for all of our counseling staff and everything, there may be each year where we want, as we approve handbooks, since this will now be a part of the handbook, where we can approve additions to those potential interventions and restitutions. I think unfortunately, this is an area that every school in the United States is learning right now and making gains on and continuing to train with.
Motion to approve the changes noted.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve it as presented with changes. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. We're in. Item I, discussion of mandatory board training date.
Thank you. So these are the dates that I had emailed, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, initially, just wanting to touch base. So everyone who was elected this time through is required by law, to, engage in, this certain approved by IPIB, the Iowa Public Information Board, training regarding open meetings and public records. I'm confident that it is going to be absolutely enthralling. I almost guarantee it. Yeah, but I will say, I think that Allers, webinars, or IASB/Allers webinars that are discussed in this one are probably gonna be better than, there supposedly some module is gonna come out to be able to complete, and you have to take a certain amount of hours for it. This would probably be more entertaining and more informational than the other options that are gonna come up, so, if it would be possible to synchronize our calendars and pick one of these dates, maybe, like I said in my email before, maybe we do a little Christmas cookie share and watch some open meetings. It'll be a
I
hoot and a
am
half.
not saying Christmas.
We don't have to sing carols. I didn't know, if any of those dates would work
Any of the
for,
new members going to the board conference this week? Because the timing is so perfect. But
Unfortunately, my grandson is playing football in the state final.
Good luck.
Thursday.
Good luck.
I guess it is the keynote on, I believe I think it's Thursday.
That sounds right.
That's the open,
Thursday's a big one.
that is the,
Yeah,
they had the open meeting training.
they have that there, yeah.
That's why.
And in this case, I understand, I don't know for a fact, but in conversation with people who are kind of on the ancillary of the people that have prepared this, it sounds like there'll be some turn and talk time possibly in these sessions, which could be kind of nice for us, because we've got 3 new people coming in and trying to norm and form as a board a little bit. This could be a good opportunity for us to kind of have that conversation, and it would be one of the rarely used tools that we have, a work session, which I'm not great at giving those, because usually we want business. I didn't know if the 4th or the 18th might be a possibility for the people in here to look at it. It would be the same time as a board meeting. They have these scheduled 5:30 to 7. I would anticipate they'll take the full hour and a half.
Fourth one.
This was November.
December 4th or December 18th.
Fine with either.
18th would, I couldn't do the 4th, but
18th would
I'm
be
not
better.
also required.
Right, yeah, you're one of the lucky few.
Yeah,
You'll be
yeah.
there. You'll be up there anyway for that session.
I think we do all.
Thursdays.
Yeah, either time.
18th, that works for you folks?
Be nice and Christmassy in there.
5:30?
What's that?
You said it was
Yep, we'll email out with that, yep.
5:30.
Okay.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
Maybe the first one was gonna log on to the webinar.
I was kinda thinking we would come together for it, cause technically we have to post it even if you log on to the webinar.
Gotcha.
If somebody's out of town or something and needs to get a link, we can certainly send a link to you, but I thought with the potential turn and talk, it might be nice to be together for that. But we can send a link if anybody, I know that's close to the holiday there. Alright,
Before you know.
We're ready.
that's all I needed on that one.
Item J, review of certified enrollment.
I just put the actual numbers in there, Mark already talked about it at a previous meeting, just, let's go to, I'm sorry, they're in there backward, the second page is actually the one that
That's
is,
one.
that's summarization of
The
everything.
new stuff, yeah.
So, there's, for enrollment, there's usually 2 numbers that we really talk about, and that's actual enrollment, which is line 7. I've tried to highlight those, and you'll see that we're minus 57. So, take with that what you will.
And that lines up with that list that we had kind of talked about of the move outs and everything too last year.
And then, we use the terms in seats.
Yes,
So,
yeah,
that would be, the one that says total school age students provided instructional program services by your district. So that's beyond 53.6. Good, something good though, is that our open enrolled out, actually, that shows a minus 1.2, that means we actually gained that, so, We've had those numbers be really large in the past, so.
And then N increased by
Yeah.
2.2.
Yep.
So the reason that it gives you points on this, by the way, is for some students like ELL, special education, homeschool assistance.
Actually, up there at the top, it,
Oh, it already
that
says
goes
it,
through,
there you go.
yep. So if you're dual enrolled K through 8 or 9 through 12 enrolled for activity program, that's a 0.1. And then homeschool assistance, K through 12, that's 0.3. So that's why, like Mark said,
Thank you.
they're not whole numbers. I know that's confusing.
We didn't split any kids in half and share them that way.
That just means that we get like 0.3 of that amount of money from the state. That's what that is. So if you're dual enrolled just for one activity, we only get 0.1 of the monies. Does anybody have any questions about that page? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory of where we're at this time. Another number that's not included in the actual enrollment is preschool. That's, we get separate categorical money for that, so we're down -6 for that, which is actually 12 students because we only get half for preschool, half the money's for preschool. And then the other page was just kind of, I've been asked before, on the open enrolled in and the open enrolled out, just like a breakdown of that, so I just kind of put that on there so that you could see from one year to the next.
And we have a tool that we built. What we didn't want to do was have our 3 new folks, we felt like they were being fed through a fire hose. So like, we didn't want to bring a whole ton of facts and figures to you. But at some point in December or January, we have 2 tools that we'll plan to share with you. One is our enrollment projection tool that we've built, which is based on county live births and a linear progression of students who have, the amount of students who have typically moved away from our district in a given year, in order to kind of show you the trend and the potential future enrollment for the district, which has been, I mean, so far, kind of matched up pretty well. Unfortunately, the state's predictions don't account for migration between Iowa towns. They just account for live births as a county. But then also, and probably more presciently, I suppose, we have a 5-year financial forecast tool that we use. Lisa and I spend hours every month, probably, I'd say, working through that, and we've kind of plugged some of these numbers in. The good news I will tell you is that the bad news is while we will still need to watch our P's and Q's financially, and we may have to use attrition again this year, our hope is that it shouldn't be as bad, because we've really been on the front end of it predicting an enrollment drop off due to smaller income in kindergarten classes. So we've been trying to stay ahead of our cost savings, so that we shouldn't have it as bad as we would have otherwise. It would be about a $420,000 cut we would need to make based on this enrollment change, but we've gotten ahead of schedule based on knowing this was coming. That'll be fun, and a lot of data and statistics, which you will learn about me. I love data and statistics and board policy, because I'm a nerd. It's true.
That really only tells half the story.
Yeah, that's all it is, yeah.
So for the new people, certified enrollment is on October 1st. Yeah, and then it's certified to the state on October 15th, so that's why you get the information now. Not at the, start at the school year, so.
We just did special education count recently, so that information will be solidified soon too.
Any other questions? Okay, we're down to item K, and for the new folks, we normally take all of these resignations, transfers, employment contracts, volunteer agreements, and sports official contracts as one item. If there's someone or something in here you would like to pull out, you just make an announcement that I'd like to pull this out and consider it separately. And we'll do that without a problem. But if you're okay, generally someone says motion to approve all the personnel business procedures. So, At this time, for the new folks, is there anyone or anything in there you would like to pull out?
I believe you also have on your table one officials.
Yes.
Like in the past, you know, if somebody's retiring after, 30 years, we might pull that one out, so we can give them a little extra shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of, several reasons we did that.
yeah.
So,
And there are two in there that you wouldn't normally see that were errors on my part, so I just wanted to make sure I said that.
Contract adjustments.
Yeah, Tyler Morgan, he, on my spreadsheet, I messed up a cell and we need to make sure that he meets the state minimum, so I caught that and hopefully he's gonna be happy about that. But, and then the second one was, Crystal Johnson, Bronson. Something happened last year and she was on the wrong step, so this year's step is, she's on the right step now if we correct it with this contract.
The good news is, a state report actually did something useful, which is maybe the first time I've ever heard that. And catching Mr. Morgan's contract being under what it should be was something that came from the fall ed staff report. So kind of nice to see a state report do something useful for once.
Motion to approve personal business as presented.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve personal business procedures. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those same sign. Financial reports.
I don't think there's anything too odd to share, pretty
No.
typical.
On your toolbox charge. That's all we know we're charged.
It always looked a little overwhelming for me in the beginning. Lots of big numbers and,
Yeah, financial reports are normally the cash report, the bills, any per diem that we're paying for staff members that are above and beyond their contract, other than just normal, like working, late a few times. And that is, and any bills on the table that we bring on the table, which means that they just didn't get in the packet, and we entered them and we brought them to you and put them on the table.
One of the cool things that does happen on a financial report sometimes is just people read their packet, when they get them on Friday, sometimes they'll shoot me a text, which you all are welcome to do, by the way, and say, hey, what the heck is blah, 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 and then we can kind of talk about some going on in the district, which is kind of a nice thing, cause sometimes I think we get a little with blinders, and we think, well, duh, that's such and such, but, somebody kind of coming in and looking at it from a different lens really helps, and that gives me a chance to talk to you. So don't ever hesitate if you are confused or just wondering what something is. Shoot me a text. I'm kind of boring on the weekend, so I'm happy to help out.
And we always have the invoices available to anybody that wants to look at them, so.
Such the water bill for Lakeview is like huge compared to, but
Yeah.
most students and
they're drinking.
facilities and.
What's Appaloosa County Daycare?
That is Kids World, that's their official name. So,
So we're getting money to Kids World?
We have an agreement with Kids World. Yeah, that's good question. See, this is great.
Yeah.
We have an agreement with Kids World for the 4-year-old, statewide voluntary 4-year-old preschool program. So we have slots at their building and slots in our building too. So that's our payment for students that we have in their slots right now, if that makes sense. So they're an official partner, and maybe I should have looked at Julie, because she's gonna say it so much better.
Well, you're thinking fair, yes.
They've been our community partner since since the start of statewide preschool, so it's been a long-going thing.
We can't discuss that now, but yes.
But good question.
Welcome aboard.
Any other questions?
Motion to pay some bills.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports. Any discussion or further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Pose same sign. We are down to the fun part, the superintendent's report.
I don't know that it's always very fun, and I only have a few things, because I don't want to take up a lot more of your time. One, went up to Des Moines for the state committee on the health trainings. I'm happy to report that I feel like, and we'll find out if it's true, that the educators on the group, we made our case very strong for making the trainings less time intensive for our teachers. In fact, what I said at one point to the gathered folks was, we're asking these people to do a lot for kids. I think we can respect them enough to not put a timer on bloodborne pathogens that says it takes you 3 minutes to read 4 paragraphs. I might have been a little out of order there, not too bad, but I do think that it's important that we reduce that time. So I hope that the recommendation that the DE folks put together for us based on our feedback will be to reduce the burden on teachers, I hope. We got some good news actually that came by way of Nathan Wood, the chief of Great Prairie AEA. He called me last week, I think that was, and said, hey, before you submit your operational sharing, we need to look at, we share one of his staff members a day a week for workplace learning. What is that called, Julie?
Work-based learning.
Yeah, just work-based learning, and it actually qualifies for sharing dollars with the state. So we were able to add an additional two FTE in sharing dollars beyond what we had expected for this year. So that'll be approximately $16,000 more than we had expected, just because he kind of came up with this good idea to encourage districts to use that. We weren't sure if it would qualify, but it sounds like it's gone through the state folks just fine. I continue to do a lot of work on student supports and IEP supports right now. That's been a lot of my work the last couple of weeks, and looks to be the next couple of weeks on the lead up to Christmas. So if I'm not in the office and you need something, the gals can text me, and I'm happy to respond, but I'll probably be out in buildings a lot on that. And today I had a nice opportunity to go with our middle school mock trial students. I think there was a little over 20 students involved in that. And it was adorable because they're all wearing suits and everything, and it's great, and it was a really good experience to go there with them. So I'm really hoping when they get the results that it turns out the way they'd like. Thank you, that's really all.
Okay. We are down to what we call board member takeaways. This was started by Kevin Wiskus. And basically, it's each board member can tell maybe something that they've learned at the meeting, maybe something that they have more questions about, something they would like to explore further in the next meeting, or it could be something that they just thought of that they'd like to explore in a future meeting. And so we just kind of take turns to do that. And Carol Heffron always likes to go first, but
Oh gosh, there's so much tonight. So I was having our new people, and
That was an easy one. Good choice.
I know.
Good choice.
I usually take notes, you know, what I'm gonna share, and I had some, so.
Yeah, welcome, new board members. Thank you to Tom and Tim for their service. Looking forward to the board convention this week, so looks like there's some good stuff that I'm sure we can bring back.
I got the extra backpack.
Yeah, I'm bringing a whole suitcase.
By the way, there's an exhibit hall, and I think there's kind of a challenge to collect as many pens as possible.
No
So
pen.
you can join in on the fun.
I've never seen a shopping cart, but I expect to see one.
Don't look at me when you say that.
Carol and I competed.
Yeah, we did.
So,
Yeah,
You did.
I'll see if I can find a picture of his hall.
What was that thing you had, that squishy thing that I wanted?
Don't worry about it.
It's bigger than you know, this-
Yeah.
That's right.
Who's next?
I'll go. Again, welcome to the board. Typically, we don't repeat each other, but there's gonna be a lot. I felt, when I got elected, I filled a vacancy. So I had my 2-year trial offer, and then I decided to continue my subscription. So it does take time to get in and understand their acronyms. You try to say, don't use the acronyms in the meeting, you can't beat that out of professional educators. If you got questions, any of us, reach out to any of us. I mean, we're all 7 individual people, we aren't always going to agree, but that's what makes it fun, and hear each other's viewpoints and do the best thing for the district and the kids. And again, BoardCon, looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to drive that bus out of the exhibit hall this year. We love the keys in last
I
year.
know, I am certified.
Just make sure there's no cars in the way.
I do not look forward to the drawing paper with this.
I can't remember, when we get there, when we sign in, we get like a schedule. And a
Yeah, that'd be
packet.
good. Yep.
Okay, 'cause I think
And a big
it's
packet.
10 o'clock.
And there's an app that you can do to look at the schedule too.
Oh,
Sched,
oh
is
my,
it?
what's it called?
Sched, yeah.
Oh, I think I might have that. I haven't looked at it since last year, so I don't.
So you didn't believe this, don't you?
Sure, who would like to go there?
I am excited to be on the board. I appreciate you guys taking time explaining things to us while we get up to speed. I'm also looking forward to the conference this week.
I appreciate all of your input tonight, and it at times was a bit overwhelming. I do think that I would like to pick up a paper packet on Friday, if that's possible. I'm more of a paper person. Like I said, I appreciate y'all being here, taking your time, and I look forward to being of some sort of service here, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I appreciate all of you guys have done. I did not know there was this much went into this as there is, so it's a lot, so.
To be fair, you guys did get
Patience
thrown in
and,
on a pretty full agenda.
yeah,
They're
but
not
appreciate the
both sides.
patience you guys have with us, and, yeah, we go with it.
I think we're all in ones.
It's a really hard job. Tonight was a hard night. But it's also a very rewarding job in that you get to make some decisions that count. And there's a lot of sort of decisions that are already made, okay? There's just a lot of things we don't get to change. But like the other said, look forward to working with you folks. The one other thing I did want to say was I was a part of the Veterans Assembly, and I can tell you that is the best bunch of kids. I swear, nobody said a peep, unless they were asked to. But no, they were excellent, very well behaved. And I've done that, I mean, been there several years, and it's like that every year. I don't know how they pull that off. But it was a very good experience, and I hope we continue to do that. At this point,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.